Aso. Greetings, all my relatives. Alaminskalaber Iachik, Wachwal Sista Alchota, Wastam, Kokwitasa Sota, Tlachwach. So we're going to begin the ceremonies around the temporary transfer of some of these coppers from our neighbors to the north, the mighty Haida nation. And as you can see, there will be some prior consultation between them. And then we'll conduct the ceremony. We got Wallace Khoyim. I got Nanwako Tluwaka, Kakhe, Haida, Wallace Luklataya. Come forward, my Haida friends. We need to talk to you about this great occasion and this temporary transfer of your coppers to our care. It is important for these parties to know the history and the origin and the names of these coppers. For just like all of you, these coppers have a story that needs to be told that affirms their origin and their purpose and the reason for their existence. And so these fine-looking warriors, these gentlemen here, are discussing the details now. Yagahik! 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 Tago! Alama kuzhit patosa hamaso. Kosas kaskada walasik sakwa. All of you have a clear view of this mighty copper that the Haida bring forward. It is their great treasure. And because they speak in unison with Wallace Khoyim about his intent to walk across the country to promote reconciliation among us all and all Canadians, they're going to trek across Canada with this symbol of Haida authority and Haida origin and Haida history. This great trek that'll include coppers will signal to Canadians at large that Beau and his party and Aboriginal people specifically want to go through one more ceremony with this copper to signify the end of their anger and to move forward in reconciliation and dialogue. As you can see, they're in some kind of negotiation between each other. Unlike the necessity for all of us Canadians to begin to talk about our relationships. And they want to be certain and clear about the intent and purpose for which his copper will come forward and travel across the country with Wallace Khoyim and his entourage. It doesn't seem like anything has been concluded yet. There are deep discussions on both sides. למה חוץ התבטאותה, quoi que התבטאותה. יצמחן תוכלסוכתה, וסתם, למחור עדה חופתה, וואלה סכתקווה. So the Kwakwakwak have a clearer view of this great copper that's been shown to them, and obviously have some deep interest in negotiating its use. There must be some good news. I hear some laughter. We await the news from their latest trek to the Haida site. Part of this negotiating going on now is that the Haida people who are generously wanting to offer their copper want this great instrument to be treated with respect. This copper represents a deep history, long history, and so the Haida care very much about it. We still haven't reached consensus yet, I guess. It's important to be clear about the temporary transfer of this great treasure, to be sure that it's honored and acknowledged in the right way, so that it has persuasion when Canadians look upon it and know what it means to the parties involved. It'll be no less easy talking to Canadians across the country about how we need to become one, Namayut, to become reconciled. As we move forward into our new future together, it'll require deep dialogue like this that's going on. to create deeper understanding of each other, respect for one another, and transforming our lives and creating new relationships and new meaning to our description as Canadians. Well, that sounds encouraging. I hear this laughter again. They must be getting close, really close. Bring us your news, Wallace Williams. Bring us your news. We're anxious to know. They have not concluded their discussions yet. The Haida have a condition they want to present, and I think there's going to be a proposal to present a name to the Haida.
Brother,
This is the third time, isn't it?
we're very close. You know the value. We have come that close. Come to me one more time. Come to me one more time.
You have all heard the words of the Haida. We are close to some kind of agreement. The negotiations should conclude soon. And as all of you know, if we move forward together, Aboriginals and Canadians, it's going to take a lot of hard work like this. And sometimes we'll be close, and sometimes we'll get there. But one day at a time, one dialogue at a time, we will find a new way forward together. As a dialogue one more time, let us all reflect on the intention of this great trek across the country. The intention that all human beings in North America and Canada in particular can acknowledge and recognize the fact that we are Namun. We are all one. So we need to find a way to breathe life into those words.
My brother.
Oh, it sounds good. It sounds good.
Everybody's smiling. Okay. Well, okay, the spinal. How are we going to do it?
The Haida and the Kwakukiwak, Wallace William and his party have been in deep discussion before they conclude this agreement among them. They wanted it absolutely clear that the intention is to bring about the better well-being of all humankind, of all people, of all Canadians, that moving forward we can create a future together that is shared by all of us, inclusive and collaborative, meaningful, respectful. This dialogue is very deep and profound, and we're going to know very soon, I guess, when an agreement has been finalized.
We have come to you, my brother, bringing with us this great copper, which will be named when it returns. This copper, we know, is for good intention. We know that you'll use it properly, and we have made arrangements to increase our family ties through this. We will be deeper brothers. I want my presence to be brought forward here at the same time.
You're supposed to give me a hat.
And my drum.
Good job.
Fine.
Good job.
As we pass it, we want to celebrate with song. brother. And now, we know the copper will be on a great voyage, and many hands will touch it. We ask people here to also touch the copper. It has been touched by my chief, and some of the Eagle chiefs on the Haida Gwaii, and we want it to be touched by people across this land. Oh, good man. My father-in-law.
Hela ketta Haida. Rest again tegen mij. Wallace Queen. As mumel te get the subscriptions figures and stuff. Kertala khus, sakwaya khus. Dala khus lui magewaya khus. Kaomet shofok mastro no khayaf so Wallace Queen. Kulas lest halis la takhokta awina gwisir. Num da no khay num shi. With the Haida do na kwapakoma. Like a lakhida lakhlis please lakhid. Abshazaya sukta Wallace awina gwisir. My dear friends and relatives, chiefs, all matriarchs, Wallace Quayam, my Chief Beau Dick, deeply appreciates the presence and the gesture of the Haida people today. He's going to carry your copper with great pride and great dignity because it carries a message of hope to all Canadians that we might find a new way forward together. Wallace Quayam's heart is deeply moved by this great gesture, and it inspires him to walk across the country even more stronger and more loudly than he would have had he not had your support. And to all of the Aboriginal representatives here today, Wallace Quayam appreciates that as well. I know if nobody hears us right away, that the Creator heard your hearts and your minds today. That starting from this place, this moment, we're going to carry this message with others, to others, that all of us are human beings belonging to one mankind, and that we all should begin to embrace each other, irrespective of color or race or creed or circumstance, that all of us have purpose and value. And that's the message that my chief wants to bring across the country. And I hope that over time you will remember this moment and be ambassadors and messengers of the same intent and purpose, that we build a Canada even greater than it's ever been, because we're all going to be working together as one. What else can I say? What else can I say but be thankful that all of you are present today to support this intention, and so that Wallace Quayam and his party, as they travel across the country, will be deeply inspired, deeply hopeful that what we're all thinking about today, that we're all hoping for today, will begin to materialize as they move across the country. I'm going to ask Wallace Quayam to say the closing words as well, and then he can give us instructions from this moment.
Kela Kasla, Kiki Kamai. Kela Kasla, Hamas Lil Kola. Kela Kasla, Ninoch Sala. How I did the Gong. Heichka Ocean. What a privilege to be here with all of you. It's the beginning and the start of our new journey, following up on our walk of truth and reconciliation last year. Prior to that, walking to the legislature building in Victoria to break copper for the first time in a long time, in the hopes that we could create awareness and create unity and opportunity for people to get together and voice the truth. And work towards moving together forward to create a world of well-being for all mankind. Are you with me? I want to call my brother Cujo up and say a few words to follow up on our event. Guj really urged me to go to Ottawa and break copper after witnessing what he did, seeing last year's event at Victoria. And I stated at that time that I was very interested, but also felt that our family had already done our job. And thanks to my beautiful daughters and their convictions and their sense of justice, dragged me off the couch to go to Ottawa, to go to Victoria. But it led to this today. So Guja again urged me to go to Ottawa. I said I'd already thought of that, but it would mean a lot more to me if it was somebody else. And if it was somebody else, I would give it my full support. And so Guj stepped up and decided to make the arrangements with his people, his elders and chiefs, to bring this copper from Skidans forward. So I want to ask Guj to touch on that. Kayla Kasna.
Only a few words to add to the great words of my brothers here. I just want to tell you that my uncle, he's an elderly man now, lived a good life and is fully behind this. And he said a good name for it is, you know, when you hear a little kid finish crying, and sometime later he goes, like afterwards, and he involuntarily sniffles, and that's the finishing, and that's what we want to do. We want to quit crying, we want to quit fighting, we want to quit whining, we want to just have a real life, and that, I think, is what will come from this. And that's mostly coming from within ourselves. That's where we're going to find that. And this government, any government now, has got to be more responsive to our people and more responsive to looking after this earth, or we'll do it again. Okay, Hawa, for everybody being here, all my relations from Haida Gwaii, good for them to all come out here. Some of them live down here and carry the culture in the city here, and all try to make their way home for food and stuff. So, and I should just add that, you know, like for us, for the people on the coast, it's not all acting or anything. It's you know, we do hunt, we fish, we smoke fish, we put up fish, we pick seaweed, we, you know, do all those things. We're clam diggers, we're just normal people. Those things we thought should be normal is what we expect to be normal in 100 years. So, thank you.